Hi everyone, welcome to another session of Blue Green 101. Today we have the people that actually organizes the diving trips, sustainable diving trips. And we have here Adam Broadbent, the CEO and co-founder of Zublu, and also Marie Sumner, the head of growth of Zublu.com. Right. So that video just now, I must say, I kind of miss diving.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about it?
Yeah, very much so. As I'm sure everyone as well who's watching.
I feel like just jumping into it is today.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just start by introducing each of you. Adam, do you want to start introducing yourself, maybe?
Well, actually, I'll let Marie go first. Ladies first, for sure. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So yes, my name's Marie Sumner, and I joined Zublu only in January this year, actually. So I head up marketing and growth strategies for Zublu, and basically just getting the word out there that Zublu is here. Prior to joining Zublu, I worked in the UK, Dubai, and in a few places around Asia in corporate real estate and finance. So quite a different industry. So obviously very happy to now be part of the scuba diving industry. It is a very much welcome change. I first went diving around 10 years ago, and then I had a huge break, and then I just got back into it about 12 months ago, did my advanced open water, and then I'm now with Zublu, still very much on my own diving journey, and just really excited about what Zublu is offering and being able to sort of share the same journey that I'm going on with our guests and people who are, looking for incredible experiences and destinations to dive, and also kind of take people on a sustainability journey at the same time, which obviously we'll talk about a little bit more shortly. So that's me.
Great.
Diving, Marie?
Sorry?
So what's your next plan for diving? What's your next dreams and hopes, I guess?
Well, I think I need to do a lot more diving with the team at Zublu first, sort of get a few more dives under my belt. But I've already learned so much since joining Zublu, so I'm sure that they will really develop, I guess, the longer that I'm here. But I'd like to do a lot more diving around Indonesia. That's been some of my favourites so far, so I hope to continue that, really.
I see. Thank you so much. Now back to Adam.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks very much for having us, Nora and the ADEX team. It's been a big fan of you guys for a long time, so it's great to continue collaborating and supporting the scuba diving industry. My name's Adam Broadbent. I'm one of the co-founders along with Matthew Oldfield of Zublu. In terms of my background, I started scuba diving when I was 18. I ended up going on a research trip out to Madagascar. And we were supporting the government there in identifying an area of woodland, coastline, reef, mangrove that they could protect with one giant biosphere. So that was a really cool project to work on, and that's kind of where I really fell in love with the oceans. And I was then very fortunate to get a job with a company called Scuba Zoo, who are a specialist underwater production company based out of Sabah. And I was very lucky to work with them for about 6 years and travel all over Asia and learn about the diving everywhere. But more importantly, I got to meet thousands and thousands of other scuba divers and saw the continual same questions come up. Where do you see particular marine life? What time of year is best to go, because seasons are important? who do you dive with, that's very reputable and trustworthy and is going to give you a good experience. And then also just how to get there. Sometimes some of these places are very remote, it's quite challenging to reach. So I saw all those problems everyone was facing, and was very inspired to help people have incredible underwater experiences too. And that's kind of where the idea for Zublu came from. And here we are many years later, with things going very well for Zublu right now, which is great.
It's great to hear that things are doing fantastic in Zublu at the moment. I recently read, an article, or actually a report on booking.com, and it says that sustainable tourism is a sector that is predicted to grow by 10%, which is actually a 340 billion business over the course of the next 4 years. And also, there have been surveys saying that 7 out of 10 travelers believe that any travel brands should offer a more sustainable options. So Zublu being in my impression, I think that is your nature of business, which is promoting sustainable ecotourism. Perhaps you can share with us a little more your thoughts on that, and also what is the nature of Zublu, and what is the focus right now with that direction?
Okay. I'll actually, we've got a couple of slides that might be quite helpful. So I'll just share my screen and then let Marie jump in. Hang on a second. Is that all okay, Marie? Yep. Oh, great.
That's fine. So yeah, sticking on the topic of booking.com survey. So if we look back over the last few years, we can see with the nice blue line there that's heading in a lovely upwards direction, that there is an increasing want and desire for sustainable options among travellers. So 73% of people surveyed in 2019 said that they actually wanted to book sustainable accommodation. And then we also have 51% of people saying that they would make an active switch to a more sustainable option, and an option that had less impact on the environment. But then we basically have this huge gap in the middle, which is where 72% of people are saying that they just don't know where to look for these options, and how to sort of book these sustainable options. So there's a huge want there. There people are saying that they would make changes and they would make the right decisions if the options were there and they were able to find them. So that's where we believe it falls to the travel industry and to travel agents and to companies like Zublu to bridge that gap and provide that knowledge and to provide the options to people who are actively and very obviously looking to make changes in their behaviour and booking practices. So I think Adam's going to cover specifically how this relates to scuba divers and our industry.
So as Marie's very clearly said, there's a huge demand there being shown through the booking.com surveys. But actually, I think within the scuba diving industry, we're even more sensitive to this. Scuba divers, we're all incredibly passionate about the oceans. We're on the front line, so to speak, and see the impacts that we're having. So the people within our sector, not only the kind of businesses and the industry, but all of our guests and everyone that loves, the experiences that are available, there is that huge demand to find better options, and there is that clear gap, and that's where Zublu, we're trying to really help there. So in terms of the way we're helping with that, one of the first areas is around finding great resorts, liveaboards and operators. So we're really proud to be partnered with all these incredible resorts and operators across Asia. We are very selective and careful about who we work with. And our primary aim there is to provide a choice for our guests and our community that they can rely on, that they are going to be going and staying with a very conscious operator that's going to help them experience the underwater world in the best way possible, while also where they stay, is sustainable as well. And sustainability and eco-friendliness is not necessarily a bamboo shack on a beach with a fan. There are some incredible resorts that are completely carbon neutral. Everyone's finding ways to offset and to come up with more sustainable business practices. So that's kind of one of the primary areas that we're looking to help. And then working with our guests, more so, we're trying to help make them aware of how they can change their diving behavior. It's not just as simple as don't touch marine life. We can have varying impacts in terms of how we interact with marine life and the distances and the angles we approach. And so we're looking to play a very active role there in helping improve the way people engage with the oceans.
Adam, how is this message being conveyed to, let's say, the divers? Is it in a part of the itinerary itself, or is it something that is personally is educated to your divers before they actually joined your trip?
Yeah, so we work with a number of organizations and partners. A good example is someone like Manta Trust, who do an enormous amount of incredible research on not just manta rays but other ray species across the world, and they've set out some very clear guidelines about how people should be interacting with these amazing animals. So we look to share that knowledge before people travel, so that when they get there, they have an idea about how they should be behaving, and also that they can play a role in talking with the operator about what they've learned, and maybe if that operator isn't quite actively kind of operating the right way, so to speak, then the guests can have a role in that discussion and have a key voice as well. So that's very important. And then we also work with the likes of yourselves and also with Greenfin. So I think last year we did a campaign at ADEX in Singapore, trying to raise awareness about the impact we have as divers. And one of the key things we were talking about there is how often we contact the reef. And the surprising stat is that 88% of divers make contact with the reef at least once per dive, which is a very scary fact indeed. And that really falls on not just the guests, but on people like Zublu and the operators to try and play an active role in changing those sorts of statistics.
And so who are your other partners aside from Greenfin and Manta Trust?
Yeah, so we also partner with a lot of other NGOs and kind of conservation organizations, people like TRAC in Borneo. We're delighted to have just partnered with Source, based in Lombok. And these are all people that are not only conducting research and projects, but they also provide opportunities for guests to come and stay and participate as well. So, getting involved in coral reef planting or supporting a particular research project around mola molas or manta rays with Manta Trust. So we're really actively looking to work with partners to help promote their initiatives and get our guests to get involved in eco ventures. So that's one way of describing it. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, Adam, is there any favorite course that divers do sign up to? Submarine, pelagic, or corals, or plastic?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one I was very fortunate to be involved in recently was up in North Bali. We were able to organize a group trip for a Singapore university dive group to come and stay for about 10 days up in North Bali, and they did a coral reef planting course with an organization called Biosphere. And that was with Reef Scene Dive Center up there, who are fantastic. And that was great to be able to see, going through the whole process of understanding about corals and how we can play a role in replanting areas as well. So that was a particularly cool one. And the kind of the feedback and the response from the students was amazing as well.
Yeah, it is amazing though. Like it's not only immersive, it's something different. I think it's a break away from what we normally do when we're back at home. I think that experience is actually very important, and the learning is So with all this popularity, focusing on sustainable tourism, and it could be also be an up-taking trend. What I understand, somewhere last year, Booking.com, Skyscanner, Ctrip, TripAdvisor, these big boys. So they basically got together with Visa and form a travel list. I think, if I'm not wrong. And then their effort is actually to mobilize the travel industry as a catalyst for good, and also to aim to transform the future of travel for everyone. Would Zublu see yourself joining them in that?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard about Travelist and saw the announcement. To be very open, I haven't heard much else since. And was having a look the other day, and I'm not sure exactly how they're impacting at the moment. But what is exciting is that the big boys, so to speak, are coming together and talking about making tourism a force for good, which I think is something that really drives what we do at Zublu, and I think is something the scuba diving industry as a whole is very passionate about. So that it's great to see that. I think certain big boys are doing better than others. I think Skyscanner are doing very well with trying to illustrate which flights have lower carbon emissions on. But I think across the board, there's probably a lot more that the big boys can do. So obviously, we'd love to help work with more people, but at the moment we're very much focused on our guests, with our partners, working with the likes of ADEX and supporting the scuba diving industry. I think there's a lot we can do internally and try and lead the way a bit, which I think is something I've heard John Tett talk about before. I think we have the ability, because we're on the front line, seeing the oceans firsthand, that we can come up with ideas and new initiatives and show the way a bit potentially, which would be a nice kind of mantle to kind of take on.
So since the last ADEX, right, last year, how's business been for you guys?
Well, it was very exciting. We had a fantastic 2019, and I think we recently announced, as some of you may have seen, that we've just finalized a fundraising round, and that includes investors from Singapore, from Hong Kong, also from the UK. So it shows that there is a huge amount of excitement and positivity about scuba diving and this incredible travel sector. But obviously, things have changed somewhat this year, and the industry as a whole is really, a lot of people are really suffering. A lot of communities that are supported by our industry are suffering. So as a business, we are obviously, not getting as many sales because no one's traveling, but we've got a lot we're focusing on in terms of, growing out our supplier portfolio, all the partners we work with, and helping offer our guests more choices. So that's one really big area for us. And then we're also improving the platform a lot to be more informative, to be more engaging. But at this time, I think a lot of the thoughts and focus should be more on the communities that are in these destinations that rely on tourism so heavily now. That's where we need to be looking to funnel focus and channel support. And I think there's a lot of initiative dive centers and resorts starting, that they're doing online courses, or they're holding their own little webinars and things. And I think if we can all help engage with those more and get involved in those more, that will kind of help support those resorts, those liveaboards, those operators, and then that will feed down into the communities. So I think that's the kind of where we should be really focusing. Zublu, with things going very well, but there's a lot of people that we need to be focusing on first, I think.
That's a wonderful thought, though. So, for example, you mentioned that you have a couple of projects that's on the way as soon as COVID is over.
Yeah.
Is there any snippets that you can share with us?
Yeah, I mean, we're very conscious of the new kind of paradigm that's going to be coming post-COVID. Obviously, there'll have to be a lot more kind of thought around social distancing at the resorts and things, and the kind of disinfecting and hygiene. We're going to be seeing, probably a lot of price promotion, and I think the role of travel agents is going to become very important, and we need to be really supportive for our guests. So a lot of the work we're doing now is gathering that information and making it easy for people to be able to compare options and to be able to get some confidence in the decisions they're making about where they're traveling to. So that's one of our primary focuses. And then also, from a very visual thing, we're improving the site as a whole, and trying to make our content and all the inspirational stuff we have there a lot more kind of digestible and engaging for our guests. But there is quite a lot coming. I rather keep some of it a little secret. But if you want to follow our journey, come over to Zublu.com. You can subscribe to the newsletter there, and we'll keeping you very closely up to date with everything that's coming.
So let's say if a dive tourist is on the lookout for something to plan, maybe early next year.
Yeah.
What should they look out for, man?
Well, I think at Zublu, we've always been focused on the experience. So I kind of, for those that haven't visited the site, I can give a quick.
Sure,
show.
you must.
Let's try and get out of. Yeah, so at Zublu, we're all about helping people get great experiences, essentially. So we set things up that you can start searching on sort of what marine life you're wanting to be seeing on your next trip, whether it's kind of sharks and reefs, and if you've got a particular country or a region in mind, and then a particular time of year. And then we've collected all the data about where you see particular marine life and when, and built that into our search tool, so that you can make some great comparisons. So in that regard, that's where we think we're really providing a very cool option. It really gets people into the experiences they want. And then we'll have information about all of the destinations, such as Komodo, and we'll be providing insights into which regions are opening up in terms of travel restrictions and things like that. So we're going to have to keep a very close eye on how things evolve. We're already seeing quite a bit of positivity in terms of China already. If I share a bit of this data, it's kind of quite encouraging signs. China's, although down on last year, it's rebounded up from earlier in April. We are now at a kind of 47% being booked last year and now being booked again. So I think that's a pretty quick rebound. And we're also seeing the weekly occupancy rates recover quickly as well. So there's a good sign that those that are coming out the back of COVID a bit are responding and rebounding pretty quickly. What's also interesting, it's all very much a kind of a moving kind of landscape at the moment, but there's lots of good stuff we're seeing, you know, with Australia and New Zealand talking about creating that kind of corridor or bubble where people can travel within there. I think certain destinations are going to open up sooner, potentially Malaysian Peninsula. So for those wanting to escape to Tioman or to Raoul Islands, which I can highly recommend, hopefully that might be not too far away. Places like Maldives will probably open up sooner just because of the dynamic there and how easy it is to get to and from resorts without, you know, too much contact in a way. And then maybe we'll see some kind of regional stuff happen in places like the Philippines, where the bazaars have been fairly unaffected in comparison to others. So you might be able to see there's these little pockets that people can get in and out of. So we'll be keeping very close tabs on that, and you know, and we'll be here to help anyone that wants to get on their next underwater adventure pretty quickly. But yeah, we've been chatting with our community. I thought, Marie, do you want to share this?
Yeah, sure. So we a few weeks ago now put out a survey to our community and a few others within the you know, a few of the divers basically. And we asked, once travel bans are lifted, how soon will people be booking a dive trip? Now, obviously, a few of these answers may be tongue-in-cheek, but I think you know, it's very, very promising to see that 99% of people are looking to do so in less than 6 months. You know, with over 60% of people saying that they want to book within 24 hours. So that's really, really promising for a rebound. And I think scuba divers, you know, very passionate travelers and just can't wait to, you know, to get back in the water. So yeah, great for the whole industry all round.
Nice. I'm one of this 99% for sure.
Hopefully everybody on this call will feel the same.
Yeah,
I can't wait to travel, man. Staying at home, it's been quite a challenge, definitely. And you know, for me, I think as a traveler, I think one of the key takeaway that I would like to get from every travel is to do something good or to give something back.
Yeah.
So for Zublu perspective, what is the major key takeaway that you want your client, your diving travelers to actually benefit from?
Yeah, I mean, I think that sums it up in a nutshell, really. Nora, I think if I got, leads perfectly onto the next slide in a way. Yeah, I think there was a great quote recently about how knowledge is the new currency and doing good is the new souvenir. And, you know, first and foremost, you know, we're wanting to help people have incredible experiences. But deeper than that, we want people to have been able to learn more about the oceans and take that away, take that home, educate others, and share basically. And that very much goes back to, I think, the power of all of us in a way. You know, we have the ability to share and educate on the experiences we've had. We also, as consumers and travelers, can make choices with our wallets in terms of which operators and resorts we choose to go stay at. And then the final exciting bit is that actually we've got all this manpower. So, you know, we can go into destinations and have an impact and get involved in stuff. So I think knowledge is the primary thing that helps with everything. The more you know, the better decisions you can make. And I think that's the key thing. So for us moving forward now, and where we see travel going post-COVID, there's obviously going to be an increase in kind of more local, national level travel, but there's going to be a kind of a big push for people wanting to go out and have big experiences. I think we're going to hopefully see the back of the social media where you're queuing with 100 people to get a photo at a particular viewpoint. That's just not particularly authentic. And you know, the trends we're seeing in the information we're gathering and the people we're talking to in our community is that people will want to get away from the crowds, and they will want to have you know, deep, authentic experiences, and they will want to do some good. And I think when it comes to options, scuba diving is probably the one that encapsulates that the best. So I think we need to help not just those that scuba dive already, but we need to let everyone else know about how incredible this is and how important it is to get in the oceans and to experience it and to have an impact and get involved. So we're really excited about the future, and particularly scuba diving. I think it's very challenging now, very challenging for many more than us personally. But I think there's a lot of positivity hopefully coming around the corner very soon.
Nice. Well, you guys are doing good, and also you are getting some good returns as well, because I just want to congratulate you guys, because Zublu recently secured $1 million fund during a seed funding round, right?
Yeah.
So tell us more about how you feel about this, and how would this funding actually help in shaping Zublu's future, basically?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, very exciting news. There's been a huge amount of work from the team and everything. But in terms of our, you know, how it's shaping our future, it very much goes straight back to our, you know, to our core objectives, which is to help people, you know, have incredible experiences, and to also help people get to the resorts and the liveaboards and the operators we partner with. So our focus is on just making that process as easy as possible, and to help inspire people, to help them discover the best places to go, and ultimately, you know, book seamlessly and have an incredible time. So, you know, all that funding is going into that, and yeah, we've got a great team now with the likes of Marie joining and many others. So we're working really hard to kind of hopefully play a big role in you know, reinvigorating scuba diving travel back into Asia.
You use the term invigorating scuba diving travel.
Yeah.
Is that the future of sustainable tourism, or is that part of it?
I think, I mean, just scuba diving alone isn't sustainable. You know, as the fact I said earlier about 88% of people touching the reefs isn't good. But I think there's a lot of good impact we can have. I think we can shape scuba diving to be more positive in its impact. You know, already we know that sharks and manta rays are more valuable alive than dead and harvested for fins and gills, and that comes on the back of tourism. And the value of tourism also gives alternative economic options for communities as well. So there is that kind of high level positivity, but I think the way we actually dive and engage personally, I think there's a lot of improvement that we can do there, and that's something that we're very keen to play a role in.
I see. Adam, you've been diving for a really long time, and like for us in ADEX, we know you as a underwater photographer, right?
Yeah.
So are you still doing that?
Not as much, unfortunately. I'm now and me and the team, we're more focused on helping others. We've been very privileged at having incredible experiences. I maybe more so myself and Matthew, but what's nice now, and I think Marie touched on it earlier, is Marie's very passionate and enjoying the team, but she's going through this journey of learning and learning, and so to be playing a part in that and is really cool. So I'm not getting in the water as much as I'd like, certainly not at all at the moment, but hopefully get back in fairly soon. And obviously, every time I do get in the water, you have to take your camera just in case, as all photographers know. It's very hard to have empty hands underwater. So yeah, no, I still dabble, but not at the same levels as people today who are taking incredible images, and there's new tricks and techniques that are coming out every other week that are just awesome. So hats off to all those.
Well, did you catch the opening ceremony vision of the ocean, where we had Dr. Alex Mustard and Kristen Wiesel and Amos Malcolm, Alan Tillett? They were talking about underwater photography and how conservation becomes a part of it. Would you be looking into having ambassadors to push that message forward, or what are your plans? I mean, in regards to photography, photography is the best medium to actually showcase any concerns or anything that you want to showcase on. So yeah, I mean, like, is that something that could be a possible direction, or maybe not?
Yeah, potentially. I don't know if Maria, if you wanted to jump in potentially, or yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually a project that we've recently been speaking about. Is basically growing our our ambassador network and our partner network, whether that be through organisations or individuals who are very passionate and share a passion for sustainable diving. And there are a lot of people out there. We're currently just exploring some options and people to work with who share our values. But I think, yeah, definitely, we're in a world of a very visual world, a world that people are on their phones a lot. So, if we can get some good images out there that really, really raise awareness of the importance of sustainability, then it's definitely something that we want to be focusing on moving forward. So it's actually a project that we're looking at driving forward at the moment.
Thank you so much, Dan. It sounds very fun. I'm pretty excited about your future, though. Last question. I think it's my favorite question, and I think it will be yours also. In your next dive vacation, right? Where will it be, and what will you be doing?
I think we'll probably be doing a lot of dancing underwater once we get down there. But I think I'm very keen to go quite local to where we are, and I think going and probably maybe heading over to Nusa Lembongan, just off the coast of Bali. We've got some great partners there, like the likes of Cheningan Divers, who are just award-winning in what they do in terms of their eco-friendliness and just general awesome customer experience. So it'd be great to go hang out with Robert over there, and get in the water, hopefully with some manta rays, maybe a mola mola, and also be nice to take the team as well and have a fun kind of team get back in the water session. So hopefully that's not too far away.
How long would this break be, man?
Probably a couple of days, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't got any big week-long excursions planned anytime soon.
How about you, Marie? Just ignore Adam.
Well, if it's a team trip and Adam's paying, I'm going with him to Lemongou. So that would be mine. We're actually working on a piece at the moment that's quite an in-depth dive guide for Bali, and it really sort of dives deep into all of the different sites and the different areas around Bali. And I visited Bali a lot of times myself over the years, and I just had no idea about the diversity and the sheer amount of amazing diving that's on offer here. So yeah, I think echo Adam's response really in that it will be a local dive for me for now. But the amount of stuff I've learned at Zublu so far, I've got dive trips planned for the next 50 years. So plenty to go at in Asia for sure.
So, I mean, Marie, you've been in Bali for a while. Any special dive spot or dive location you would totally recommend people out there?
Well, yeah, so I've been in Bali, but only since January. I've only actually been diving once since I arrived, and then obviously everything got closed down. So I can't actually recommend anything from personal experience at the moment. But I do know that, well, I'll tell you what, if you'd like to know about Bali specific dive sites, in a few days we'll be releasing our guide that'll have all you need to know in there. So I'll make sure I send it over to you, and that'll have the best of the best.
Bali seems to be a favorite with Zublu, yeah? What's the second next best location aside from Bali?
I find that question very tough. I get asked that all the time, and I think it's kind of depends on what kind of experiences you're looking for. I've got a real soft spot for Sipadan. That always delivers amazing experiences. There's a lesser known island just south of Sipadan, just over the Indonesian border, called Sangalaki, kind of around Maratua Atoll. That offers some really awesome diving as well. A little bit harder to get to, but very much rewarded. Where else would be top at the moment? I think places like Komodo are going to be nice and accessible, and some incredible diving there. The currents are quite strong, so it's definitely more for advanced divers. And I think the Maldives as well is one of my top spots. It delivers a really good all-round dive experience, from great channel dives to reefs to tillers to all the big stuff, mantas, sharks, maybe a whale shark. So dive trips there, you get a lot of the bucket list crossed off pretty quickly. So I'd always recommend the Maldives. And it's not all luxury resorts. There are the local islands where you can go stay with dive centers run by often people that have worked at the luxury resorts. So they know all about how to look after customers and how to give good experiences. So even going and staying on the local islands and diving with the local centres will be an incredible experience as well. So there's lots of options there, either luxury resorts, local islands, or the liveaboards. So.
Just pop in my head. Any I don't know, dive packages where you guys collaborate with like a marine scientist or something, where there's this what do you call this, educational and also recreational trip merged together?
Yeah. So yeah, we have quite a lot of different options there. But some standout ones, I'd probably say Man's Trust expeditions. You'll kind of join a liveaboard, and there'll be one of the kind of expert marine biologists from the Man's Trust will be on the trip with you, and there'll be a lot of talks and giving you more insights, and then you can get involved in the actual research as well. So I highly recommend those. So much knowledge to be shared. There's also the Maldivian whale shark research program in the Maldives, and they do similar things, but more focused around whale sharks. but it isn't necessarily just the NGOs that do these really kind of in-depth experiences. A lot of resorts and operators now are doing it as well. I mentioned Chenangan divers on Nusa Lembongan a few minutes ago. Robert and his team, they've developed a whole number of courses that you can get involved in when you're there, and that ranges, you know, across all sorts of things from coral to mola mola to mantas. So it doesn't always just have to be with an NGO, although that's great. It can be with just very passionate resorts as well. So off the top of my head quickly, Man's Trust expeditions are pretty cool, and definitely Chenangan divers as well, highly recommended.
I do agree with you with Chenangan divers though. I think they've won the Green Fiends Award.
Yes,
twice,
yes, I believe so. Yeah.
And the last that we met Robert online was trying to grow some beard.
Yeah, he's not cutting it until the restrictions are lifted, I believe. So I think he's dying for a shave. So hopefully it won't be too much longer. Yeah. Okay. Just to add as well, you know, alongside Chenangan, you mentioned that you know, they've won the Green Fins Award. I think that's a great way for people to look, you know, for great operators to join and go stay and dive with. You know, Green Fins, I think they're the only internationally recognised kind of organisation that's kind of got standards around sustainable diving practices. I think they've got a 15-point code of conduct. So they're doing great work and work with a lot of members. I think if I remember, I think 37%. I think on average, their members reduce their environmental impact by 37%. So if you're wanting to go make good, you know, sustainable choices, you know, looking for that Green Fins brand and that logo is a very good way of doing it as well.
Yeah, I do agree. In ADEX itself, we do collaborate with the Reef Foundations and also Greenfin to do this Blue Green 360 awards and also stuff like that. And every year, I think the discussion that we have, especially within the closed door, it's something that is really worthwhile within the sustainable industry itself. I think, Adam, you've sat on it a couple of times, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't didn't sit on it, but I was very fortunate to be asked by Green Fins to come and help. You know, I think it's very clear within the industry there's a huge passion and thirst for change. So people like organisations like Green Fins or initiatives like Green Fins, to be precise, are fantastic at helping with that. And we're just trying to play a role as well and be as supportive as possible too.
Adam, I have a question from someone from the audience, you know.
Okay.
Someone was asking that you need to include sea communities and lay village. Have you heard of that?
Sea as in?
C as in sea, community.
Sea as in seas, yeah.
Yeah, and lay village.
Lay village. I haven't heard of the term lay village. Pardon my ignorance that I haven't heard that term. But I guess they might be referring to people like the Bajau Laut and things like that live on.
I guess I think it's some kind of an NGO conservation. Okay.
Apologies for my ignorance. I would love to know more. You know, if I think, you know, if anyone wants to email me afterwards, I'd love to chat. My email's adam@zubludiving.com. So, you know, anyone that's listening who wants to connect and chat, you know, please reach out. We're really keen to meet people and to learn, as well as do what we can with the industry. So to the person who asked the question, please reach out. I'd love to chat.
So is there any specific criteria for Zublu when you outreach for partnership, or vice versa?
Yeah, we've got our own internal way of onboarding resorts and partners, and we kind of like to get to know our resorts very well. Generally, we've visited them all personally. We also obviously work with people like Greenfins, who do their annual assessments as well. So there's a lot of confidence in partnering with those with Greenfins members. So if anyone is interested in working with Zublu, again, please reach out. We'd love to talk.
So if they are interested to partner and on board this initiative,
yeah.
This is a question, yeah. So suddenly there's a surge of question at the moment.
Okay.
So they were asking, how should they go about becoming your partners, and any special things that you look out for when you are onboarding or taking that kind of partnership?
Yeah, I mean, we look at a lot of different areas of the business. So it will be down to how they operate their diving practices. That they do good briefings for customers, and then that will go all the way through to learning about the resort and how they have either built that sustainably or how they're managing their energy. We like to learn about the conservation projects that they're running themselves personally. Nice to see what connections there are with the community. So there's no kind of fixed list. We're not here. We're here to support and help encourage and improve. We're not here to be pointing fingers. That is not our role. I think collectively we're all in this together. So there's no kind of, I don't want to put any blockers in the way of any conversations with anyone. So if people are wanting to have a chat, they can either contact me on my email that I said earlier, so theadam@zubludiving.com. You can also come through to the website. We have a contact section. There's a become a partner tab, so people can contact us there as well. Keen to talk to anybody. We're very much wanting to be part of, and support the community.
But you say supporting the community. Perhaps could you share with us a little bit of example of how, an example of how this collaboration with community works. Local community,
No, like the scuba diving community. Right. I meant so we want to help drive awareness about what people are up to. I think going all the way back to the beginning of our call, in a nice circuitous way, Marie was talking about the fact that 72% of people don't know what to look for and don't know where to look for information. And that gap of knowledge is quite frightening, especially when 73% of people want to be looking for good, sustainable options. So our role is to try and help bridge that gap. And if we can help promote experiences and operators that are doing great things, then we're delighted, really.
Right. We're left with a few minutes left.
Okay.
Any final words you want to give to the ADEX community? Any messages? Anything? They miss you, Adam.
Yeah, I know. It's not so fun doing it over video, is it, Nora? So hopefully it won't be long till maybe next year, in April again. We'll all be back together in Singapore. I in terms of messages. I think it was great joining the opening ceremony of ADEX Pixel and what you guys are looking to achieve. What was amazing was just seeing how many people were on that call and how energized and passionate people are in this industry, and that's always something that's so exciting about being in this travel sector. So it's great to be a part of, and I think ultimately we're quite feeling very positive about a rebound coming, and I know it's easier for us to say than others at the moment, but I think there's a lot of excitement around the corner. I think there's going to be a lot of energy coming towards scuba diving. Ocean tourism is going to be vital moving forward, and it is growing. So I think we just trying to keep a positive message out, and fingers crossed it won't be too long until we're all back in the water.
Well, Adam, I thought you were going to say that. See you guys at ADEX Surface Interval.
Oh, okay, is that, yeah. This is the after party. Yeah.
Great. Anything that you want to say to any one of us?
No, just to really sort of echo what Adam said. I've only been in this industry now for 5 months, and obviously everybody is going through a difficult time at the moment. But it is great to see everybody still so energized, to repeat what Adam said about the opening ceremony. People are just so passionate, and it's something that's very new to me, and it's really humbling and nice to be part of an industry that is so passionate about what they're doing. So I look forward to meeting everybody in real life at ADEX next year, if not before.
All right. Thank you so much, Adam, and also Marie.
Thank you, Nora.
So I just want to say we're going to end off this interview with Zublu's advertisement, just to have a show to everyone what is Zublu.com is all about and what Zublu can actually deliver.
Yeah, bit of inspiration.
Yeah. In times like this, we do need that inspiration.
Yeah. Great.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks, Nora. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.